Hi. Exam 2 review, part 1. So we'll talk about the list, and topics, and exam procedures and things, and then hopefully you'll gather some questions and things for Thursday. So let's go through the main important aspects of what we have for the exam 2. I will mention one more time that the semester is over in 4 weeks. We have 3 weeks of instruction / exams, and then you have the final exam week, and we are done so that we can start our summer 1 online in when are we starting? In May 18th, I believe. So if you are signing up for classes, if you're thinking about signing up for classes for summer, hurry up because they're converted to online sections. Online caps are lower, so that means less students per course, and it's not as easy to add extra sections because there is a lot of people, because not everyone is able and capable of teaching online. Not everyone has the technology and nerves and things to look at the endless emails and messages and things. So only handful of us will be teaching and very few sections available. So if you are thinking about summer, run. Okay, so what is exam 2? Exam 2 is going to be chapters 8 and 9. Now, we are kicking out, I believe it was it 8.7? The one with the table of integrals? Even though I could, this is the perfect opportunity for me to put that on a test, because you have access to the book and then you can just waste your time looking at looking at the integral that you need. Let me just see, is it 8.7? Yeah, 8.7. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so no 8.7, no 9.2, 9.4, 9.5. Those are all differential equation stuff, so we only did 9.1 and 9.3. So technically everything we covered, right? Everything we covered, just be careful with few of these that are, right? Very good. Yes. 8.6. Very good, Chris. Yes. 8.6 does not have new material. 8.6 is just a summary. Which method is the best to use in which situation, right? So that was just in class. If you remember, I put all of the. This was, we were still in a classroom for 8.6. What I did is I put up on the projector that page filled with integrals, and then we just talked about every integral and which method to use. So, yep. Cool. So let's go and take this topic by topic. Basic integrals. U sub plus back sub. This is all in Calculus 1. You cannot avoid these. You absolutely cannot avoid any of these, because you know that most of your problems end up with the U substitution. We used it already. Now we'll learn series integral test and we use the U sub. You're a calculus student, you have pulse, you do U sub. Doesn't matter which Calc 1, 2, or 3. Then we have by parts. And then we have trig integrals. And then we have a trig sub. See, but trig integrals are inside the trig sub. So it's the trig sub is the big part, and then the other one, you just need to know it so you can get to trig sub. Okay, what else is there? Obviously, partial fraction decomposition. A couple of pointers for partial fraction decomposition. You need to make sure that you have minimum 2 factors. If you have more than 2 factors, well, it's not partial fraction. If you have 1 factor, you can't use partial fraction decomposition. There's nothing to decompose. You have only one factor, right? You need minimum 2 factors, or 3 or 7, right? 7 factors, 7 variables. So that's fun. So partial fraction decomposition, and then what else is there? That's it with methods. Then we had the section 8.6 that was which method to use, right? In which situation. We skipped 8.7 with the table of integrals, and then we went into 8.8, which is numerical integration. And this is where you have the 3. The midpoint, trapezoid, and Simpson. Right, so those are the 3 methods. You have 3 formulas. That's what I call the middle school section, right? Because you just go and you solve. And written in blood, the infamous what? The one that you always have to worry about, improper integrals. Type 1, type 2. For differential equations in chapter 9, we have no issues there. Very simple. Definition of differential equations. Classification. Order. Linear. Blah, blah, blah. For check solutions. Solutions given. Differentiate, plug in, and finally solve separation of variables. That's 9.3. Everything prior to that is 9.1. So this is your exam 2. It's obviously more points than exam 1. I didn't write that I'm going to put at exam 2 on canvas here in blood. On canvas. Exam 2 dates. Friday. Is it 4/17? I don't even know what days. Today is Tuesday, right? So that Friday has to be 17th. 4/17, Saturday 4/18, Sunday 4/19 by noon. And the last thing that I'm going to say before I disconnect, and we'll have a long review obviously on Thursday, and we'll have office hours. So let me point that out. Some of you sent me an email with a question on how many questions, how much time, and so on. Well, now that this is, there's another question about labs, so I will explain everything right now, and there will be an announcement and the change in syllabus, which will make sense to all of you. But here is what's happening with all aspects of your course going forward. Now, all of the labs will become a single course Calculus 2 survey lab that will be given to you a week before the final exam and due on the day of final exam. It will count as 10% of your grade. So think of it as a 50 problem course review lab final exam prep. I think I put everything in a bag that it is. 50 problems, open for a week. You can go in and out whenever you want. Do the day of the final. Serves as the review for the course and for the final, worth 10% of your grade, which means you better get everything right. And since it's a problem by problem, when you type something wrong, you get to redo that problem. You don't have to restart all 50. So I know that my MATLAB is very particular with the way you enter your answers, which is why this will have individual, right? So labs is going to be one single, and it's going to look exactly like any of the homework assignments you are doing on my MATLAB. No difference. Except it is going to have 50 problems from the entire course, 50, maybe 60. It's going to have as many as I need to cover every concept that you guys learned from day one till final. So 50 or 60 problems. I don't know. You'll have a week, maybe 10 days even, and that's going to be your labs. The project is taken off, and you will have it will be added to homework, which is again your My MATLAB. So now your My MATLAB is practically like what, 15, 20, 25% of your grade. It's insane, but such is life. Exams stay unchanged in terms of the percentages. You cannot transfer the course if the percentages are different than what we have, because this is agreement with four-year schools to take you. So this course is transferable to MIT, is transferable to Penn State, is transferable to any school, obviously Montclair, Rutgers, NGIT, obviously, right? So I can't just say, okay, no final exam. I mean, I can say that, and then there is no final exam, but none of you get to transfer this course. So, final exam, we'll have exam 2 this weekend, exam 3 in 2 weeks, final exam, I don't know, May 15, whatever, 2-3 days again, and so on. So that answers all of that stuff. Very good. Yes. If you get anything wrong, it's just like your homework. You know, your homework, it has 20 questions, and you mess up question 3, you can just redo 3. Infinite amount of tries on each individual question. They're all disconnected, right? And the whole assignment will have 1 grade. So you better all have 100 on that, right? Because you're going to have at minimum a week to do it, and you are going to have everything disconnected, right? So you can detach the questions from each other. It's not going to be an exam thing, so you can still, right? Oh yeah, if you mess up 3 times, it gives you the similar problem. Yes. Don't mess up 3 times. Yes. So if you mess up 3 times, it will change the numbers, possibly functions on you, but it will be the same type of the problem. You just grind through it and get it done, right? So sure. But instead of having numbers 1, 2, and 3, you might have 4,000 something next time around, just to be annoying. It's a software. I picked a problem, and what numbers you're going to get. You guys are all going to have different numbers because it's random number generation and so on. You know that already, so yeah. Yes, the next question is if I am opening the homework a week before. I always do that for all of my classes. I don't need, it's nice to ask, but yeah, I always do that, so it will be done this time as well. All of the homework will be open, and remember, you have to have minimum 2 problems solved correctly per section. So you can't go and just say, okay, I solved 10 problems correctly in the first section, so I can skip next 4. No. Every section has to have minimum 2 green check marks, minimum of 2. And remember that for that one, the lab thing, the survey, final exam prep, whatever you want to call it, that better be 100%. All of the problems need to be solved there. It's a course survey, final exam review, lab, all of that stuff. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about, going back to exam 2, is the time and the stuff regarding time on the exam. How many problems are we going to have on a test? That will be determined by the software telling us what is the average time that they collected as data for problems to be solved. So I'm going to aim for 1 hour, 1 hour and 5 minutes or whatever. So if that's 8 problems or 10 or 12 or 15, whatever amount of problems the software says, I did it for my algebra class, except I was aiming at 40 minutes to give them an hour time. Ended up pulling 12 problems for algebra class. Again, I'm giving you an example now. I pulled 12 problems, and those 12 problems added to 39 minutes and 31 seconds. 39, right? And 31 seconds. That leaves them extra 20 minutes for checking and so on. Now, this data is collected over thousands and thousands of data points because you all log in, the software is measuring how long it takes you to answer the question. So they give these averages since the dawn of my MATLAB, right? So that is also the test generator. Your exam is going to be in Canvas. There will be partial credit and all of that kind of stuff, but we do have access to data which says how long it takes. What you are not going to have time for is you are not going to have time for to browse through your notes and internet and so on and look for similar examples and try to figure things out and different numbers, different function and try to monkey see, monkey do, right? You need to know the stuff. The exam will take an hour. I am aiming for an hour, but exam will take hour 25. So you'll have extra 25 minutes for checking. Now, the students who took online exams earlier, I had those that learned and they scored 80s and 90s. And those who were banking on, oh, I'll have notes, this is going to be easy, they're all in 20s and 30s and some of them 40s. And they were all complaining there was not enough time. There is not enough time. There is not enough time to go and you will be able, I am going to find where the option is. You will be able to go back and forth between the questions. Yes, I am obviously, you guys know that I want to have an exam where I tell you, right, on the first exam, I did tell you, test taking skills 101, make sure you read the whole test and answer things you can do quickly and then go back. So that is one of the biggest best practices to take exam, to skip around. So I will make sure to find the option and check it off so that you can go back and forth between the exercises and get those. So if you practice like the maniac, if you know the concepts and know everything, then you should be at least as good as average, and you should be able to end your exam in 1 hour, leaving you 20-25 minutes to check, submit early, pass out, and so on. If you guys are planning on looking in your notes and looking for similar examples and trying to match the problem and see how's the question different than the one given, and you're going to run out of the time after problem 4, and then you're going to complain that there was not enough time. Obviously, if you want me to make a problem, you can tell me how much time. Right? We can do it this way as well. You can tell me how long your exam you want the exam to be in time-wise. Then I'm going to, take 80% of that for work and 20% for checking. And I'm just going to ask the software to fill in the problems to match that time. So more times, more problem. I am not able to figure out how to do the replacement problem. So unfortunately, those will be scraped, but you still have your quizzes, which are going on. So hopefully that will be enough to counter. Plus, some of these problems that are, given by the software, the not my MATLAB, but the other one, whatever it's called, the generator thing, are way easier than what you guys seen on my MATLAB and so on. So that's one of the good things. I know, sad face. So if there are no further questions, I am going to I'm going to also put the office hours for the we'll deal with the work. We'll talk about that again. So guys, office hours. On tomorrow is Wednesday, right? Wednesday is tomorrow. Good. So Wednesday, 5 to 6 p.m. Then I have a 6 p.m. class. Thursday. The hell is my class on Thursday? So I can do Thursday at 4 p.m. And Friday, I'm generally 9:30 p.m. I tested last Friday with differential equations because they had the exam. So I opened only office hours for them at 9:30 p.m. to test, and I had 6 people at 9:30 p.m. on Friday. So that was great. So these are your office hours, and this will be attached in the announcements as well. If you join 4 to 5, if you have more, I can stay a little bit longer. I do have actually, you know what? Why? No need office hours for Thursday. We're going to have a 2-hour review on the stream. Yeah, no Thursday. I'm gonna go eat instead of not eating a whole day. So yeah, no office hours on Thursday. Wednesday 5 to 6, Friday 9:30 p.m. And that's office hours through Microsoft Teams. You did all receive the email, hopefully, to join the Microsoft team for Calc2. I need to log on first, and I need to start the meeting, and then you guys can just join in. That one is not streamed because there is voice talking. There are cameras, right? They're on or off, whatever you want. I don't care. But I'm not streaming that one. That one will not be live streamed. That's going to be like, when you come to my office, and there are going to be more people, right? More than one. So again, personal stuff goes into email. Then we have office hours, and we have chat in the announcements also, which is a class discussion. And then finally, we have the classes and streams. So everything is covered. All right, cool. So I will see some of you tomorrow, maybe 5 to 6. If not, then big review on Thursday. And make sure you have some questions ready. And exam this Friday. So I'll talk more about the exam and partial credit and showing work and all of that stuff on Thursday during the review. So we'll go through most of this stuff again. I only see 10 of you live right now. Hopefully others will catch up with this. And yep, that's it for now. Bye.